Giving a eulogy is one of the hardest things you'll ever have to do. It's high pressure, it's emotional, and you might feel extremely unprepared. In this video, I'm going to give you a simple, clear plan to honour someone's memory, even if public speaking absolutely terrifies you. The first thing you need to know is planning and preparation is key. A good eulogy doesn't happen spontaneously. Even if you speak well off the cuff, you want to go in as prepared as possible, because when emotions take hold, anything can happen. Here's what you need to do. First of all, write it out. A good eulogy should be around 5 to 7 minutes, which makes it about 700 to 900 words. This is the sweet spot for engaging your audience. People are going to understand. They're going to relate with your grief. And the thing about a eulogy is you're not selling something. You're in a room full of people that are supportive of you and also want to honour that person that they've just lost. If you're struggling with your eulogy and need professional help, at goldengoodbyes.com we offer editing and writing services for people who are struggling. I genuinely believe that you're capable of writing a good eulogy. You understand that person best. You really just need to put in the time and the effort. But the thing about funerals is a lot of times they can't be planned. They fall on us. We're time short. If you're staring down the barrel of having to do it in a week or two and you just need that help to get over the line, reach out to us. The link is in the description. We'll do the best we can and help get you there. Once your eulogy is written, print it. I see so many people think, I'm going to remember it. I'm good at public speaking. I've done this before. It'll be fine. I can wing the bits. No, don't. I don't even like having something on a phone. I think it extra layer of technology. It's not quite as personal, and it also opens the door to technical issues. Have it there in physical form. In my opinion, have your font about 20% larger than you would normally have it on any other sort of speech. This is because when you get emotional, tears flow. It's a really difficult thing to do, and you need to be kind to yourself and account for it. A physical script also gives you something to rely on. I remember when I did my younger sister's eulogy, about halfway through, I absolutely just choked up. Emotions took hold. Naturally, I'm a good public speaker, but it was too much. And at that point, I really just stopped worrying about how the speech looked. I stopped worrying about those sort of fringe elements of a good speech where it's make eye contact, engage with your audience, and I just looked down and read. And at that point, the hard work was done, and what I was saying, the words I'd already written when I wrote the eulogy in my preparation, they're what held the meaning, and it really didn't matter any sort of elements of that presentation. And I think it's important to be kind to yourself and do the same. And I think it's why preparation and writing a eulogy and putting all your time and effort into that is so important, because people are going to understand. They're not going to look at you any differently for not being able to get through it. This leads me to my next point. A very popular question is, what if I'm too overwhelmed and I can't get through it? And grief affects everyone differently. And my biggest tip in this situation is to have a backup. Ideally, someone a little bit more removed. If you've lost, say, a direct family member, see if you can line up with someone a little bit further removed. It might be a cousin or a second cousin. Give them a physical printed copy of your eulogy, and that way they can step in if you can't finish, and it can give you that confidence to sort of either get through it or to know, like, these words are going to matter. I'm not just going to have to stop and go and sit down. What you were actually telling the audience and the people that cared and loved and also want to honor that person that they've lost, they're going to be said one way or another, and what you're saying is what matters. It really doesn't matter who says it. They can fill in from your perspective. I think this sort of really leads well into my next point, that emotion is okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with crying or breaking down. If anything, I think breaking down and really struggling can add a lot of authenticity to what you're saying. It's one of the few sort of public speeches where emotion isn't a negative thing. It can actually strengthen and add value to what you're saying, add weight to what you're saying. And I think it's important to just lean into that and own it. You're grieving, and that's okay. Be kind. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others that also have to go up and do that same thing. Put yourself in their position. Would you really judge someone who was breaking down giving a eulogy? I wouldn't. So you don't have to hold yourself to these high standards, even if you're a perfectionist and really want to nail it. The next point is to practice. Don't over rehearse. So this is a bit more of a balancing act, and it will depend on the individual. For me personally, I like to read my script out loud into the mirror 2 to 3 times, and that works well for me. If I over prepare, I've found that emotion can be lost because you're hitting those repetitions. You're sort of losing that feeling because it is becoming a task, not something you're engaging in and connecting with the people listening to you. For this, you can do it a number of different ways. A mirror works well for me. You can also just record yourself in a phone or even present to a loved one or a family member. I think it's of vital importance, even if you're not presenting your eulogy out loud, to at least show someone that physical script and have them read through it. Asking a friend to sort of listen can help with your clarity, with your pacing, the tone of what you're doing. At the core of it, the message you want to have people take away from this person you loved that has passed. There are a few common mistakes that people make in eulogies. I do have a video on it. I'll link it in the description below. Again, just someone reading through who's a little bit more removed from it will sort of be able to see and weed out a lot of these initial problems, but I've got a full list there on the video. Check it out. I list them in order of how commonly I see them. I'm not doing clickbait YouTube stuff. It's just bang, bang, bang. Here's what you see. Time yourself. Again, you want to hit that 5 to 7 minutes. That's the sweet spot. If you're going on for 15 minutes, or if you're just going to speed read because that's how you react under pressure and emotion, you don't want to have something that's meant to be a lot longer, rushed, and it's a 2 or 3 minutes. The best way to do that is time it. You want to hit that sweet spot. It just makes everything easier. It's one less thing to think about. Another tip, and this is more for people who suffer serious anxiety, and public speaking is an actual phobia. It's not something that's just difficult to do, it feels impossible. And I've only seen this sort of in the last couple of years, but video eulogies are becoming a lot more popular. And this gives you the opportunity to record, present, edit out errors, and you have a lot more creative control over the end product. You can also add photos, you can add music, and it takes away that sort of need to physically be up there. And in your video eulogy, you can even explain, say that it was difficult for you to get through, so you just wanted something that honored that person by putting your best foot forward. If you are struggling and you think video might be an option, we do offer that as a service at goldengoodbyes.com. Click on the link and you can learn more about it. This isn't for everyone. I think it's a little bit more niche. It's an option, and it also helps if you've got a digital version of that. It's a lot easier to upload to Facebook or send in an email to someone who can't be there physically. So it's a great sort of way to remember and honor that legacy. A lot of funeral homes will give you a digital copy of the entire service, but it's also nice to have that little piece to honor them too. My next advice is to structure your eulogy for maximum impact. And by that I mean have an introduction that acknowledges your relationship with the deceased. Tell a story. The best way, and this is what I tell all clients, is to show, not tell. It's very natural for us presenting a eulogy, writing a eulogy, to just fill it with adjectives. This is who that person was. They were kind, they were loving, they were helpful. But a far better way is to tell a story that demonstrates those traits. I like to do a theme when writing a eulogy, and that is to pick 1 or 2 traits that the deceased has that you really admire, that other people who knew them well might see and feel and know them for as well, and have that as the running theme to the eulogy. It demonstrates that you really knew that person and just how much they meant to you, and that is honoring someone in its essence and the most important thing we can do. The final part is the closing, and that is essentially just to express gratitude more than anything. You really want to just acknowledge the impact they had on your life. And if you've got sort of those 4 parts of your structure in your eulogy, you're off to a really good start. The rest is easy enough to work out. Again, if you're struggling with that eulogy writing process, let us know, reach out. But in that sort of final edit, when you're looking at things, look at that flow of the eulogy. And sometimes even in the writing, you're not going to be able to see it. You're only going to present it and be like, how did this feel? What are the reactions of people going to be to this? And it's a lot easier way to sort of pick it up and find where you could improve it. I know it sounds a bit counterintuitive to have something written and then perform and write it and edit, but it's a great way of sort of fine-tuning something. The problem with eulogies is you're often on a pretty tight time frame to get it done. Having that good structure helps a lot. video in the description as well if you want to learn more about just the writing process. If this video helped in any way, I would absolutely love a comment. It goes a long way to sort of helping me get the message out there and help others who are in a difficult spot.